Hey folks, and welcome back to Writer's Bone, Friday Coffee. I'm here with Sean Tuohy, my guest again. He returned. We didn't scare him away the last time.
No, I came back mostly because you offered me free coffee and food, and I found neither here. It was a huge
donut. I actually have a black moon if you want. Our topic today is we have a very big milestone coming up.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's very weird.
What's the milestone? Tell the people.
We're coming up on 100 podcasts.
That's weird.
100. First of all, we didn't think we were going to do more than a handful a year, never mind 100. I blame you. I actually blame you for this.
Is it
because you just started scheduling with people and just hounding people like, come on the show, come on the show. Stephen King is turning us into the authorities at some point.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen.
It's weird that I have a lot of weird relationships with publishers and agents.
Yeah.
Because I harass them, there's no other way to say it. And they're just like, no. But thanks for being persistent. I just keep trying. Yeah. So I know I'm being memorable.
Right. They probably think you're some mentally damaged kid, like in the cornfield somewhere. Like,
they're not
this
off.
poor kid. No, but
they're not off by much. They're only off by...
The only thing missing is a cornfield.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing.
When we first decided to do a podcast, how did you envision it? Because I think we had similar visions, but I'm interested to see, because I don't think we had the same vision.
No, I think because it was really, you had the idea. You were like, why don't we do this? I'd always wanted to do a podcast, but then it just never happened. But together we came up with the idea, and I think originally your idea was more of a sit around, smoke cigars, drink, and talk the craft of writing.
It is true.
And I was I was more of a goofy guy where I was like, we'll talk writing, but it'd be like,
entertaining.
Yeah.
Something that people would actually want to listen to.
Yeah. But then I think in the end we came up with the perfect world, because it was the goofiness on one end and straight on the other, and in the middle was that sweet spot of, we can joke about a topic, but we can also get very serious about the art form.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I like that.
Yeah.
Put that in like a marketing scheme.
Oh, well, we get investors.
Investors.
Podcasting free people. But no, it was like when it originally came to mind, I always thought like, oh, it'd be great if we could interview people.
Yeah. That was your idea, for sure.
Yeah. That was the thing, but you were the one who took it and was like, why don't we can do this with the podcast? We can talk about this on the podcast. You're really on the point of getting us topics. And pointing us in a direction of like...
Somewhat.
Yeah, but you're also more of like, let's make sure we don't stray too far from the art form of talking about writing.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, so how about you? What was your idea?
Well, you said it. Like, just hang out and basically be nerds.
Yeah.
And have just our nerdy friends listen to this.
Yeah.
And it was just it was an avenue where we could be creative and not have anyone tell us no.
Yeah, there's no no's here. There's no, can't do that, we shouldn't do that. It's like, we have carte blanche on anything.
Fun.
It is fun, but I'll say this, now 100 episodes in, it's a little different because it's like, all right, we got to plan this guest, and we got to talk about this, and we want to make sure we talk about this book. Yeah. We're not paid by any means to talk about any book.
Right, we don't take anything. We do it because we like it. I mean, we tend not to promote books that we don't like.
Yeah.
All the authors that we've had on, we have some kind of connection to that we like in some way, or there's some aspect of them that we can relate to and dig.
Right.
And usually they have really good advice.
I would say I'm going to go with, out of the 100 interviews we've had, maybe 3 or 4 have been quote unquote bad.
Yeah,
bad in the sense of like, not like they hung up on us, or
right? Just drier, or yeah.
And I mean, let me ask this: 100 episodes in, is there an interview that you would want to redo, or have someone back that hasn't been back?
Rebecca Cantrell is probably at the top of my list.
Oh, yeah.
She was really invested us early on.
And she stayed with us, too.
Yeah. It's great. She always tweets us on social media. Always has a kind word for us.
Yeah.
And the schedule just haven't worked out because she's in Europe, and it's tougher to schedule on the weekends.
It doesn't,
Things like that. Life gets in the way. But I think I would love to talk to her again, for sure.
But in more in-depth conversation.
We were just starting out. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, we didn't. Our questions were... let me go back. And we've talked about this before. Our first phone interview, Dan was very... No, you were very... It was good.
My bad.
No, you're mad at all. We needed it. And that
we did. For the first one, we did.
If you brought questions, so Dan came and he's like, look, I typed up questions for it. It was wonderful because we could write down notes and stuff. And of course, it took time. Now we're in a much more need.
Now when I do it, it's more of a basis of here's some things we could ask.
Yeah.
If we want to go off script, we can.
Yeah.
And it's not even a script. It's like here's some questions I thought of, and if it doesn't work out, hey, whatever. We don't use them. It's no big deal. If we add to them, it's no big deal. We ad-lib a lot. I'd also like to be in the room with Andy Weir.
God,
and I mean in person, not just both of us in the room, because we had, I think it was Bus and something work or some combination where I was on the phone and it was weird.
It was still a great interview.
It was.
But
it was fun.
I mean, that's someone. If we could have Andy Weir in the room with us, just sit down, I feel like the interview would have to be stopped by an outside force.
Yeah.
And it would just be one of the funniest interviews because it's weird because he's not. We've had a lot of people on the show that are first-time writers in the sense that they've had stuff published,
right?
But they're well skilled in writing because this is what they went to school for and this is what they trained for.
Right.
Andy didn't. Andy has like a master's degree in, or not even. I think he has a higher degree than that.
I'm sure he's got some kind of
guy's
degree.
Smart.
Yeah, really
he's
smart.
A smart dude. But he didn't say he didn't really even fall into it. He's like, I just like to tell stories, and I kind of did it. Now it's turned into a classic movie.
Yeah.
In 10 years, that movie's gonna be rewatched.
It probably will. Yeah.
Same
Absolutely.
way. Yeah, that you watched 2001.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just developing this relationship with all these people. I think it's helped my writing. I don't know about you.
Definitely.
I mean, just the advice we've gotten for people, the tips on how to deal with the publishing industry, how not to get down on yourself, how there are other people in the same boat who have come out the other end and been okay.
Yeah. So it is this weird kind of therapy.
Yeah, it really is. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's a weird therapy of like there's these people who are just like, hey, it's okay, champ.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Right.
I would say, my writing's gone up. How about you? Like, how's your confidence as a writer?
I mean, I've been a pretty confident guy, but I think it's gone up in the sense where I feel like I know what I'm doing, where I have a little bit more structure. I have a little bit more insights into what happens after the fact. I'm definitely a better editor since starting this endeavor. But at the end of the day, no matter what kind of day we had, we could do an interview, we could get a printed review in, we could email goofy questions and talk to, what's become our staff, a boneyard question. And it's kind of relieved everything. You kind of just flush out everything, and then your creativity is like, all right, I'm back.
Yeah, and it's not overwhelming.
No,
you never feel overwhelmed.
Never feel. Not once has this felt like work.
Yeah. Now, everything we've done has been set to our own schedule.
Right. Exactly.
Which I think is which is great because our schedule is we want to deliver, and we want to deliver good content.
Right.
And I think that's a problem sometimes as I see with other websites and other podcasts is that people just kind of half-ass it. Yeah. And I mean, I've listened to a couple podcasts from college kids. That's fine. That's just good time goofing around.
Oh, absolutely.
I've heard some and then I've heard some podcasts. There's one I heard. I think it was like Zero for Heroes. I think it was called. And they were like, I listened to them and I'm like, this is actually a really good podcast.
Right.
And that's when I'm like, I feel kinship to them because it's like they're with us. They want great, good content. They want to be noticed and heard.
That's been, I think, our number one goal is, no matter what we do, whatever we do on the podcast or the website, let's just have it be freaking good.
Yeah.
And that solves half the problems you have in putting content out there in the world.
Yeah,
just have it be good.
Never question any of our content because it's always good.
Yeah.
It's like, they're even like the short stories. We've had a couple short stories that I read that I'm not a fan of.
Right.
Because they're badly done.
Yeah.
Just because I don't care for them.
Right.
But they're good. Like, I'm still proud that they're on there.
Exactly.
Same with articles. Every article we put up, I'm always proud of. You put up an article this week for your adventures to the News Museum.
Oh, yeah.
And I like that. Yeah. That was a wonderful article. It was a fun article. I like it. It was like this. It was a kind of like what I did over my summer vacation kind of letter. And it was fun because it was actually something I was like, I want to go here. And it was like fun. And your video that you made with reporting at Gettysburg.
That was fun.
Could you improv, by the way? Like,
he said you're not wedded to the script. And part of me was like, I should totally do a writer's bone thing.
Yeah.
But all I had was, hey, welcome to Writer's Round. And then I just went blank. I'm like, I can't do that.
I was thinking
I can't
about
disgrace the podcast.
Two other things that would be up there is like talking. It was funny, by the way, because you're at Gettysburg.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be reporting at Gettysburg.
Right, yeah.
About what's going on. And you're like, reported from Gettysburg, we've heard that General Lee is gay. He's actually come out of the closet. It was very strange because he did it with no pants. And, I'm insulted. Everyone in the South is getting angry at me. But see, look, right there. Like, we can do this and goof off and go off tangent because we want to and can, and people are sort of going to laugh.
The other thing I like, and it happened recently, we had an author, and I don't want to blow the surprise. There was an author recently who got in touch with us after we had reached out to him, and it was someone that you've been trying to get for a long time. And my first reaction was, my God, Sean's going to go crazy. And you did. And it just blew my mind for a minute. Like, we've been doing this a long time, and never once we've been like, oh, man, we got this person in. Oh, this is great, I guess. No big deal. It's exciting. It's a big deal. Like, we never think, we send out a million emails, and never do I think I'm actually going to hear from the person.
No.
Not once.
And when we do, it's great. No matter the size of the author, how big, how small. That author who we got, I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. Right. But I'll have the same reaction when we had Steph Post for her first novel. You know? I didn't know who she was, but I was still as excited because she was someone who said yes. And she introduced us to a bunch of other Southern writers, too, who kind of brought into our writing troupe. They are. They've really kind of come into it. Yeah. We're a very Southern writing. We Southerners. I think it comes from liking noir. Yeah. I think the country noir and the, quote, Brit-lit kind of lends itself to be married together. Yeah. So I think it's kind of easy to like the stuff that they do because it's not all that different from some of the stuff that we like. True. Very, very true. Yeah. So all right. So what for the next 100? What do you got, Sean? For the next 100 episodes, I want to say that we will finally get Stephen King. That's it. 100 episodes in. We're never getting him. No, he's going to die. We're going to go to his funeral. And at his funeral, there's going to be an announcement. Please escort the two people from Writer's Round. I will still try to. Because I know they're there. And we'll just walk out. I'll bring the freaking laptop and put it under his dead corpse. So how did you feel about writing Carrie? He's not breathing, Sean. Dan, he sure does seem dead calm. All right, we got this. That'd be a great name for your next novel, man, if you weren't dead. Maybe we'll bring you to Pet Cemetery. Man, he sure is shining. He would he would wake up and be like, get out. He would find a way just to be like, no. One more time, no. Close the casket. That's a Stephen King short story. Yeah, I like that. You should write that. I would, and I'll send it to him and he'll take it away. All right, so Stephen King, the next 100, that's your goal. That's the next goal is Stephen King. And there's a bunch of other writers that I do want to get on the show that are now going from no's to maybes. The schedules have to be figured out. Right. I don't want to ruin anything. But how are you? Next 100, what's the idea? I honestly just want to keep having fun. Yeah. If we can sit here and it's like Cheers to me. You walk in, it just feels right. You walk in my door, we have this conversation. I feel better about life. Yeah. And then I take my pants off and I go to sleep. Yeah. Sometimes I take my pants off before. Yeah. I'm unpredictable. Yeah, it is strange right in the middle of an interview just to see the pants go. And I'm like, well, then I guess, this is going weird. I'm going to leave. And more Bacon Jam. We need more Bacon Jam. We had an episode called Bacon Jam. I think. All right, next time I go, you know what? Maybe that's what we'll do for the 200th episode is we'll have Bacon Jam. That'll be Bacon Jam 2. I like that. Number 200. Bacon Jam 2. Yeah. For 200 episodes away. 200 episodes away. Bacon Jam 2, Electric Boogaloo. I can't let you leave a Friday coffee without telling me what you're reading. Currently, on the nightstand is Sidetracked by Helming. I'm going to mispronounce his name. It's Swedish. Of course. This is what we do. We mispronounce it. Henning McHale, who just passed away, I think, a year ago. The Wallander series is what he's famous for. It's actually a throwback because I read Wallander. My aunt discovered that I was learning about detectives. Detective novel. I just finished Me Explain I the Jury. And I was like, oh my God, detective novels. And she's like, I want you to learn about other detectives, not just these hardcore ones. So she gave me Sidetracking, which is phenomenal.
Cool.
Yeah, that's on there. And Black Horizon by James, I gotta pronounce the name, Komargi, who's a lawyer, Kokamari or something. He's a lawyer from South Florida.
Nice.
So that's on my end. I sample some stuff you just gave me. How about you?
I just finished The Axeman's Jazz.
Okay. Yeah.
By Ray Celestine.
Mm-hmm.
I like how I read the normal sounding people's names.
Yeah.
And you have just crazy. They just threw the alphabet at these guys.
Oh, it's annoying. It's
I hope they're trolling you. I hope the people are giving you books.
So
That's not his real name. It's Joe Smith down the block. Just watching you struggle with his name. You've been reading the cover for 3 months. Haven't even read the book
How
yet.
do I sound this out? Come on. Wait, oh, yeah, so that which I'm going to be picking up. What else do you have on here?
I'm reading actually a nonfiction book about Bill Clinton's time in the White House called The Survivor. It's really good.
Oh, okay. Is it his whole both terms? Or?
Yeah, it's both terms, written by a Washington Post writer, I believe, or one of the national correspondents that covered him those 8 years. It's interesting. Very balanced, kind of shows you both sides of Bill Clinton, and there were many.
Yeah, interesting. He is an interesting.
Both good and bad, yeah. But
say what you want.
He's like Nixon. He's just endlessly fascinating. I could just read a bunch of stuff about him. Millard Fillmore, not so much. He doesn't have that much flavor to it.
No, just maybe the name kind of doesn't help. I mean, Clinton, though, is really interesting. I heard him do an interview on NPR where he had to answer questions about My Little Pony, and I'm not kidding. It was fast. It was.
I've heard
riveting.
you're not the first person. You might have been the person who told me.
Yeah, this is number 2. Yeah. But, and also another book I almost forgot was Out of the Blue, which comes out. Yeah. That's Putnam.
Yeah, it's Putnam. Yeah.
That's a Putnam one that comes out. You know, I stick by what I said earlier about the book, where it didn't wow me as much as I thought. Didn't
grab you in the cojones like Michael Connelly.
No, not like Michael Connelly.
Michael Connelly's book, not actual Michael Connelly.
Michael Connelly still hasn't grabbed me by the cojones, and I've been emailing them pretty regularly. Maybe that's why we're not getting responses.
It could be.
Yeah, but that was the first. I forgot. That was the book. I can't remember the author's name right now, but I'll say this: it didn't grab me. It wasn't my favorite, but I would still recommend it because I think there's something. I think once you get kind of through it, you'll find something.
Oh, okay, good.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, Sean, thank you for coming back to Friday Coffee. Even though your name's on the door, you can come in anytime. It's nice to have you.
Thanks. No, thanks for having me. This was great. The lukewarm coffee that has a cigarette butt floating in it, and the Danish that you gave me that is clearly been someone's saying about it. There's cherry lipstick on it.
Next time we'll have better snacks. I apologize. All right, folks, keep writing.